Welcome to day 10 of my journaling progress. I got new lights, so we're trying to figure out how to make this lighting better because I didn't like watching my videos with the lighting being as shitty as it was. Today, I wanted to talk about relationships and a thought that I was having after listening to someone that I admire talk. They talked about they talked about how you would feel if someone said, I can see how much you love and appreciate yourself by the partner and the relationships that you have. And at first, I didn't understand what that meant. I didn't understand what they were talking about. I can see how much you love and respect yourself from the relationships I see you have. I didn't know if they were complimenting the person they were talking to or if they weren't. And I realized that was the point. The point was that that is a good checklist to see if the relationships in your life are what they need to be. I can see how much you care about yourself from those you surround yourself with. I was thinking about this yesterday as I was working. I was thinking how there's so many times in our lives that we treat other people better than we treat ourselves. This isn't true for everyone, but for most people that will hear this, it's true that you treat other people better than you would treat yourself. You give them more grace. You give them more understanding. You judge them based on their actions and maybe even their intentions. But you get judged by your thoughts, by the things you're not doing. So many times I've judged myself for things that had popped into my head instead of what I chose to do in the situation. When I had thought to be mean or to be cruel or to be sassy or whatever, I judged myself on that thought. I didn't act on it, but I had judged myself for it. But I can't see anyone else's thoughts. I don't know if they're having the same thought, but acting in spite of that thought. They don't get judged on that in my brain. They get judged on their actions towards me or their intentions and their honesty. But I was different. I'm a special case. I don't get the same privileges that I give my friends. Because for a long time, I didn't view myself as a friend. But my confidence and my peace grew tremendously when I started treating myself like I treat my friends. I'm understanding, I'm kind, I'm encouraging. I realized that no one would be friends with me if I treated them how I had treated myself. And that was a shitty place to be. To realize that for so long, the only person that was always there for me, because I couldn't escape him, was treated so poorly, even though he was trying his best. His best was not good enough for his critic, and his critic was me. My life's got so much better since trying to treat myself like I treat my friends and my loved ones, because I do love myself. Not in a woo woo, everything about me is great. I should be accepted how I am. I don't believe that. I do believe that I am working really hard to try to improve in areas of my life. And I need to give myself credit for that. And I need to be understanding when it takes longer than I initially think it will. When I fall, when I stumble, I get back up and I'm encouraging myself to get back up because I know where I'm headed. And I would do that with any of my friends. I love my friends. I want to see them succeed. And when I push them to succeed, it's in a kind, loving manner. And when I used to push myself to succeed, it was in a derogatory way. Come on, get better. You're better than this. You know better. Why do you keep making the same mistakes? Why do you keep struggling with the same parts of this life? Why? I expect better of you. Come on, what are you doing? And in the same situation, I'd be so much more uplifting to my friends. Hey, I know you keep struggling with the same part of the process, but you're getting a little bit better than last time. Learning takes time. Let's keep going. Why did you fail here? Let's look at it. Let's move past it. Let's go together. You got this. I believe in you. That's so much different than what I was telling myself. So many of us are our own worst critics because we have information no one else does, and we judge ourselves based on that information, the thoughts in our head, rather than the actions we put out into the world. Intentions are great. Intentions are great, but actions are what impact the world. You can be forgiving if the action was actually harmful, but the intentions were good. This is in a very small use case. This is not if you were getting abused in some certain way. This is in general, in small microcosms of life. If you if you are failing at something and you're not congratulating on yourself on trying, if you don't have your own back to pick you back up and help you to keep pushing forward, why would you invite a critic to the practice sessions? You don't want a critic. You want a coach. You want a friend. You want a supporter that'll help you get through the practice and the hardships that are ahead of your life. And while you're going through them, cheer yourself on. Treat yourself how you treat your friends. It is my most impactful shift that I've had in self confidence, self belief, and inner peace that I've had this year. That's my biggest breakthrough. And I want it to be yours for 2026. Start working on it. Think how you would treat yourself in this situation if you were a friend. What would you want that friend to do? What would your reaction be if the friend had talked to themselves the way you're talking to? Because I know that when I struggle with this, I would be furious that my friend was speaking to themselves the way I was speaking to myself. But it didn't matter in my case. I was different. That wasn't the same. And that's not fair. We're stuck with one person our entire lives, and it's ourselves. Why not keep pushing to be better in a loving, caring manner instead of keep berating yourself with negative comments and negative thoughts and stick on those negative thoughts? Why do that? I've seen more progress come from people that are cheered on, that have a solid support system, than the ones that were told they were shit. I've had coaches that have thought that by making me upset, that they could get me to perform better. I was told I was shit all the way through college. I wasn't a good golfer. I wasn't. That's what I was told. My swing sucks. I just don't understand how to play. You're not good enough. And they thought that would help me. And in reality, I started to believe that I was shit, not just in golf, just in general. I didn't think I was good at anything because that's what I was told. The second I got a support system around me that started cheering me on in my practices, when I would fail, at my tournaments, when I would struggle, and they coached me and helped push me forward and told me, I know you've got this. You've got to do better. I know you can. I believe in you. Instead of, I can't believe you did that. You know better than that. Come on, that sucks. Do better. I had a totally different outcome. The second I got out of college golf, I started playing better golf because I no longer had that negative sphere of influence that controlled my life for 40 plus hours a week. I had myself, I had my family, I had my friends who knew I was a great golfer, and they pushed me to become better. You got to build a support system around you that will cheer you on, and it starts with yourself. Because how you treat yourself shows others how you will be treated. How you treat yourself shows others the level at which you will accept the action that you will accept towards yourself. So treat yourself how you want to be treated. You're not an exception to that rule, and your life will change. Go out there and try. Try it. Act how you would if it was your best friend you were talking to. Because you're not going anywhere. You're stuck with you and the inside of your head. That's all you've got. So treat yourself a little nicer and go make a difference out there.